The number's moving, that's recording. Can you hit it again?
Bring the Board of Health meeting to commencement. Present is Marty Golightly, our health agent, Alex Haggerty, Chris Schultz, Terry Mays, Linda Dickey, and myself, Susan Emery. So, we have a few items on the agenda, and the agenda starts off with the minutes. You guys have the minutes. I know I can't approve the minutes of 5/21, but I'll look and sign at the minutes of 5/7, and you guys can all look at it. Then it's a short meeting. This one, this is our first meeting on camera. In a long time. We have 2 new members. We have 3 more seasoned members, and we also have a new health agent. So one of the things that's usually on our agenda is something that we refer to as the health agent's report. And this would be something, Marty, that you would provide us as to what you've been doing. We've been kicking around the last 2 weeks.
So I will only provide a health agent report for things that are that could affect policy, which is what the board purview is on. What I'm not going to put on there is day-to-day operations. Like,
so you're not
I
going to
went
tell
out
us
here to do this and this. But if I establish a trend or something like that, I'll do it. But as far as day-to-day operations, these inspections happened versus these ones that didn't, that's probably not going to be on a health agent report.
Why not?
Why not what?
Why not? Why are you going to tell us that stuff?
What exactly would you want to know? Because in the previous health agent reports from
Should give them an example.
Sharon,
Sure.
It had just information as like these.
High level.
Oh, I've seen them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I figured that you had, yeah.
This place had a complaint, or that's day-to-day operations. It has nothing to do with policy.
I don't know if I'm exactly happy about that, but I'm willing to try things.
Now, if there's a trend for something that would need a policy change, which is what would need to get done, obviously, I would bring that up in some type of report. But
I don't know, does anybody else have any thoughts on that? Comfort level? High? Low?
Well, I mean, like if it's an isolated incident, I don't think like something should be put down into like as in a daily report or something like what Marty was saying. I do agree with Marty on that. But if something becomes a trend, like there's a problem arising for a specific business or residence, then perhaps it should be put on the health agent's report. I don't think every little thing should be, though. I do agree with him on that.
I'm not exactly not comfortable with bringing in on only the problem. You know, it's like so now something's built up, and now we hear about it after there's been a problem for so long.
So that's what a trend is, though.
Right. So I'd rather be involved in the ground level.
No, I understand.
But if that's none of my business, then just say so.
I wouldn't say it's none of your business, but the day-to-day operation of going out and doing things, I don't think that needs to have a specific health agent report. So there's addresses on there, there's information that just doesn't need to be given to every single person, especially considering a lot of the complaints I get are anonymous. So
right.
I would prefer to respect people's privacy
This is true.
until a trend is identified.
Well, actually, Terry did.
No, I'm listening to the discussion, and I appreciate this point of view because initially when we first started getting these, and I think these seriously detailed reports started with Sharon, it didn't have the little numbers next to it, so it was just addresses. So we added the numbers so that when we were discussing them, the addresses wouldn't come out. But you know, I don't know if I recall that much detail every month from previous health agents. So maybe to Marty's point, a lot of these are anonymous, and sometimes it can just be a nasty neighbor. You don't want to have a nasty nasty family dispute.
Some of these anonymous complaints.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I wouldn't have any problem culling down maybe the amount of inspections, and maybe to your point, only the ones that are problematic. So once they've had an inspection and they keep blowing it, then they show up on this type of a report. Especially if it goes to court, because then it
That
costs the
sounds
town.
reasonable.
Yeah.
Now, are we still going to get reports like Sharon used to update us on things like education that she was doing herself and recycling that, you know, like different incentives that
Absolutely.
we're getting, stuff like that
Yeah.
will still be on the agenda?
That won't change. Those updates
Yeah.
won't change. But a specific health agent report identifying what I've been doing the last 2
Yeah.
weeks, that's probably not gonna happen. No, thanks.
Oh, yeah, all right, just making sure.
Thank you. I saw him.
But I do still think there's a benefit to see which inspections have been done?
On establishments,
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, establishments definitely.
Yeah, and that is a part
Fine.
of
We
the
can talk
health
about
agent's
it.
report example. I brought this more for the 2 new members, and I was going to illustrate, as Terry pointed out, how we would keep the residents anonymous by the utilization of the numbers of the different events, instead of using addresses or names or, oh, that's across from Strawberry Valley, or any of those other indicators that might somehow tip off somebody to some information that they don't need to necessarily have. But I do know for a fact that what would happen with some of these is, and I'm just looking at this one here, is what would happen would be the firemen would first go in for an emergency situation to a house, and upon entering the house, they have to go through a narrow passageway because there's stacks and stacks of papers, which is indicative of hoarding or something else. But then the firemen would say, oh no, we need you to go in there, and the health agent would go in there, and that would kick off services that would ultimately help the firemen. So some of these things are very good to be done, even though
what I
there's-
won't put on the health agent report is if a establishment has had a inspection, what their violations were.
Right.
No, that's never been on there before.
Understood.
No.
That's fair.
And I won't put on any person's information.
That's
and
fair.
I won't
No.
include
Yeah.
addresses.
Because it's
or
important
anything
for
like that.
people
No.
to realize that when our minutes get published, everything that's in the meeting gets published with it. So the addresses do eventually get out once the minutes are approved.
Yes.
So I kind of appreciate that, a little extra discretion. But enough information so that we know what establishments are being inspected.
I can give you a list of those. That's not even an issue. But what had been in there before was these were the violations, these addresses had complaints, these people were saying, and I won't
No.
do that
Yeah.
because I won't let nosy like people who are just complaining to. I will address those in the day-to-day operation.
Alrighty.
Yeah, and I've always reached out to you if I have any questions for anything on it,
It's
like, you know?
right away, right?
Right away, so,
So as long as I'm addressing everybody's concerns, that's my priority.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't print it off.
So another part of the correspondence that I would like to discuss
So,
is,
Well, we have to approve these minutes first.
yeah, you
Oh,
have to go-
okay.
you have to go in the order of the agenda.
This one, and you weren't here for this one, so.
I wasn't there for the 21st, right? So I did already look at these minutes for May 7th.
Motion to approve the minutes of May 7th.
Second it?
Who would like to be the second?
Alex.
I'll do it.
Alex seconds.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
500.
Thank you very much. So now, Linda, if you want to do the ones for the
And then-
21st, because I wasn't here.
I'll motion to approve the minutes of May 21st.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Chris seconds.
Aye.
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 401.
401.
Okay, so minutes are done.
Vouchers we don't have.
We don't have vouchers.
Skip over that.
And so back to correspondence. Thank you so very much, Mary, for those links on the tobacco regs. Is there any way we can get those printed up for the new people?
I believe I got the emails for those.
Did you print them up yourself?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, because like I know I pulled out mine out, and it's like a lot of paper to print out. So and I just feel like where the town has and the office has a printer and ink and staff, that maybe somebody could print up. I mean, I'm happy to keep mine from the last time. I know that we haven't changed them. Do you still have yours from the
Yes.
last time, Linda?
Yep.
Do you have yours,
You
Terry?
know it.
So maybe for the new guys there, we could have a couple of copies because it's impossible to remember all this stuff. And those links, although very helpful, thank you again, Mary, are a little bit less effective in the middle of a meeting like this.
If you need something specifically printed out for specific pages, just send me an email and I can do that for you.
All right, awesome. Yeah, because I did get the link from the marijuana seminar that we went to over in Canton. I haven't printed them out. If you haven't looked at those yet, take a look at them. There's one of them. What was the woman's name? She was from
The second to the last speaker.
Yes, the
Yeah,
second.
she was awesome, right?
Oh my gosh, she was fantastic. She was telling us all how the Board of Health should deal with the regulations of marijuana and how we deal with the retailers and everything. And it was fantastic. It was beautiful. It was perfect that we can do. Just go along with the state. If we want to add anything, I brought it up at the last meeting too, like additional things we could add to regulating
She had
it.
real ways forward with zoning and.
Nice. Well, zoning is in our department, but
No, I
yeah.
mean, like,
Yes.
But just like, this is what people should do for the health department. This is what people should do when they're zoning for the health department. It was like,
Oh, it was perfect.
I saw the cannabis commissioner on, John Keller, this past weekend, and he said out of the whole Commonwealth, there's only been 38 applications. So I don't know if Abington's got any applications, but thank you. So we
Yeah,
don't.
I don't think so. No.
That's what he said on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think right now they're only letting, and even he kept saying July 1st isn't really a hard date. We're not administratively obligated
Yeah.
to have anything open on July 1st. So they're really even pegging off of that July 1st date. But that's on the state level. That has nothing to do with us.
Yes.
And we can only follow the state as far as that goes. But it's coming. It's coming. So I'm glad that you were able to go to that. I'm glad you were also able to go to that, Marty. But while we're doing accolades, Chris, thank you so much for passing the NIMS 700, woo woo, and all of those other things. Oh my God, was your mind spinning afterwards?
Yeah.
Yeah, but your training and
Dry.
the Boy Scouts probably helped a lot.
Yeah.
Alex, your next step. If you want to work with me, I'll work with you.
Yes, absolutely.
All
I'll be
right.
more than happy to.
Yeah, spend a little time next to the
Riveting?
computer.
Oh, gosh, that's my
Wish I had
stuff.
that much time.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. I
all the
have
time.
every confidence. Yeah, and yeah, maybe over the summertime. All right.
Absolutely, you got it.
Nice. And I'm sure Marty wouldn't mind having a few more certified people under the umbrella of
I'm certainly
Abington.
not going to turn them down.
No.
Abington has no MRC volunteers.
Yes, you do.
So
You're looking at one.
you're a medical reserve corps?
Yes, I am.
Are you a retired nurse or a doctor?
No.
Okay, so those are the people that I'm looking for, though, that can hand out pills at the thing. So maybe I should rephrase that. We have no medical qualified people.
Right. I don't know if you remember when we went to that meeting. I said to Jean Benicasser, I said, "What's the difference between the MRC and the certs?" And the certs, she said, and I think that last year they were on the MRC campaign.
Yeah.
So they signed me up for the MRC because they weren't concentrating on certs, and now they're concentrating on certs, and that's where. So we've got one of each. Actually, when you're ready, because we'll have to do a new call down list because we have new personnel.
I'm on it.
Yeah, when you're ready, I'm no pressure at all. I have some ideas for recruitment on MRCs.
Speaking of that, there's a breakfast this week at the senior center that I'm going to maybe ask for some retired nurses to volunteer for that. While we're
Concentrate on
talking
that
about
cribbage group.
While we're talking about that,
Mm.
I will be giving the next MRC cert training, and it will be on triage in a medical disaster scenario. So,
Great. Where is it going to be, Marty?
I believe, I'm not sure, Gene schedules it,
Mhm.
but highly likely it'll be in Abington.
Awesome.
Awesome.
We like it when they're in Abington. And Chris, I think when you came on and you started to show some promise with the things, I think I told you, it was like, go to the ones in Abington because they're usually not so close.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Oh, can I go back to one thing? We
Absolutely.
kind of moved on from that. I am a minimalist as far as printing out stuff. That's why I send out links. So if you want something specifically printed out, please tell me page number and that thing, because I don't waste paper wantonly. So be very specific with what you want printed out from me, because I don't like to just print out 900 pages if it's completely unnecessary, especially when we all have PDF document readers on our phones now. I don't mind doing it, but please consider that I am a frugal
green.
fanny. You know what I mean? Like I don't waste paper indiscriminately.
Well, and I appreciate that, but we do also have the business of the town to conduct, and it is hard to do that without something to read and something to refer to. Like a link for me, those tobacco links were less than effective for me, because when we're talking about things, I kind of need to have something in front of me. I am a little bit older. I don't remember all of these things. This language
That's
isn't
fine.
that.
Just,
I don't know if
like I
I don't
said.
know if all the members have printers. I don't want
I
to
don't.
assume that everybody does. So I don't want to put an unfair burden on a board member that's already volunteering their time. I was going to print out some of this stuff, but I said, well, why should I incur this expense in paper and ink when I'm paying property taxes for a town that has a computer, paper and ink?
Turn it on.
Oh,
Oh my God.
well, we're 15 minutes in.
Well, we got the camera
Right.
rolling, so.
Yeah.
So are we still on correspondence?
Yes.
Is there any more correspondence?
Uh,
No.
You're gonna have
there's
to
actually.
watch the
Cheers.
first
Oh,
part
no,
of the
go
meeting
ahead.
on
Oh, you-
tape. This will be the second part of the meeting.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Oh no.
I'm sure most of you here, everybody here, I hope, saw the report that
Can
went
I-
out by
Can I
the.
just interrupt for a second? We have a very light agenda.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that Mary sends out an announcement is so that we put things on the agenda. We're not supposed to talk about things unless
Oh,
they're
I
on
know,
the
I'm just
agenda.
asking to.
Right
to-
now-
To talk about it, if we can,
Right now,
to bring it up at next meeting.
we're on correspondence. So that would be any correspondence that we've received, and we haven't. So we're done with correspondence. Now we're on with chair's message.
Well, actually, I had one
Well,
more correspondence.
Unless there's more correspondence.
Forgive me. The correspondence I received was that email invitation to Board of Health or their agents to go to that meeting on the 19th that me and Chris are. If you can make it, please come. I'm sure it will be enlightening. That was the last correspondence. I'm sorry, guys.
Is that the one down the Cape?
Couldn't tell you. I don't-
On the 19th, is that during the week?
Devon's, it's in Devon's.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
down the
it's
Cape.
Wednesday.
No, up north,
No,
in
yeah,
between
north.
Beverly
It's at
and
Devon's.
Yeah.
We should have this
Far
on
away.
weekends
Linda, I will look for
Well, so
something
what-
on the weekends.
or
for
at
you.
night even. I'm a night owl. I can work all day and then go
I'll check.
at night.
So what qualified as correspondence then at this meeting?
That's paper that we receive as correspondence.
All right, but what was the conversations that we were having? I mean.
We were having inappropriate conversations, that's why I'm trying to stay focused on the agenda. And anything, any topic that wants to be discussed, all it has to be done is added as an agenda.
All right, then why didn't you say that beforehand? Or why didn't you say that when you were speaking about something that was, as you say, inappropriate? Why didn't you
Did I say
interrupt?
something inappropriate?
I don't know what.
I
I,
don't know.
I
Mary
think he
can go
means
over the
why
tape
didn't
if you
you stop
responded to
everybody?
anything to anything.
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Well, no, you contributed to the conversation, so wasn't that being inappropriate though?
It was in reference to the correspondence.
Well, no, you were
You were
speaking
bringing up
before
a separate
that.
subject, which
No,
is-
you were speaking before that though.
Oh, it's a,
All right. So let's move on to chair's message. I'd like to offer my chair's message up today to anybody that has anything to say.
you have to be very careful about what you talk about. If there's something that wants to be discussed, we cannot discuss it. We need to put it on a future agenda item.
Well, how
So
about
if there's
we'll have the
something that
co-
people would like to talk about in 2 weeks, that can be number one agenda item in 2 weeks.
All right, how about,
Because the board needs to know what we're going to be talking about. The board needs to come to a meeting prepared.
okay, I
And
think
there
that
was
point's
no-
been made.
Yeah,
So,
but that point's been
let's
made. and-
move on to what would you guys like to see on the agenda next time? Would you like to start, Alex? Do you have anything you want to see on the agenda next
Yes,
time?
I do. I want to have a discussion about the opioid epidemic and drug addiction in town. As I was trying to say beforehand, there was a report that came out by the Abington Police Department over this weekend about Plymouth County, about how 53 individuals in our community or our county have overdosed, and then 6 have also
Excellent.
have also passed away from the drug addiction. I think that is a very important thing that we should be discussing as a Board of Health, seeing part of our mission is to preserve, protect, and promote health in our community. I think it's important that we are involved with the Drug Task Force, the Plymouth County Drug Task Force. It's something to not be ignored.
So next on our next agenda, we would like to have opioids as it refers to the Board of Health.
Yes, thank you. And actually, I am talking to a couple of speakers that could also help us.
Thank you for your input. Chris, was there anything that you'd like to have on the agenda for next time?
No, I'm good.
Excellent. Terry, is there anything that you'd like on the agenda?
I'm just not sure that the opioid addiction is a Board of Health issue because we're a regulating board, so
I
I don't see
understand.
that we're going to make regulations.
I
Is it a
understand
health
that.
issue in
yeah.
everywhere? Yes, it is, but I think if we really looked into it, I think alcohol's more of a health issue. But
I understand.
I appreciate what Alex is. I actually brought it
understand.
up years ago and was told that it was not a Board of Health issue, that it was a police issue.
I understand
So-
that, but
We
should
are
at
we
least-
are limited. I agree
Yes,
with
we
you. I
are
just didn't want to
Oh, no,
squash
no, no, no,
anybody's
no,
no.
enthusiasm
So-
too.
Oh, no, I completely
all means.
understand, but like, we should at least, there should be some back and forth and even working with the police department, having some communication, and that's what I ran on, and that's what a lot of the constituents that voted
You
me
okay,
in
Marty?
want. And that they want more communication, and if, are you okay, Marty?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
I
And it's
agree
just-
with you, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think we
You
should
just
at
grabbed your
least-
shoulder and it was
We
like.
should at least be talking about the opioid epidemic, because considering that Abington had a larger amount than rest of the county.
I think we can find some room on the agenda.
That'd be wonderful.
And if it's something that you're passionate about, if there's any information that you can bring to the meeting and pass out to the
Oh, yes,
to the
absolutely, I
committee,
will bring
would
that
be-
for you.
That'd be really helpful.
Yeah, I'll bring that for
Keeping
everybody.
us all on the
Have to
same.
print it out for
Oh,
you.
yeah, oh, thank you.
Marty.
Also, if there's an opportunity, since you're so interested in helping out, to have a liaison from the Board of Health to the police, to be the communication to the Board of Health.
Yes.
That's a great
Yes,
idea.
absolutely.
That's a great idea.
I'd gladly do that.
I don't want to interrupt anybody, so I wanted to make sure that you guys were finished before I asked Marty if he wanted anything on. Marty, is there anything you want?
I do. I would like an update on all of the temporary food permits for the summer events going on in town.
Here you go, you ready?
I know. You've given me this update. Obviously, as we all know, there are a lot of things going on this summer in Abington, and we have yet
Oh,
to
wait,
receive
I
any.
actually have some updates. Oh my goodness.
Okay. Oh, I'd love to hear
I
that.
did the
Yes.
Lions trailer today, and they were great. And as this weekend Abington celebrates, it's all set.
Oh, yay.
Beautiful.
Okay.
I did talk to Ken Coyle. He may invite some of the South Shore food truck people, whatever that means. And I gave him the laundry list of to-dos to be able to have those people here this weekend. And
This weekend?
yeah,
Would you
And
have
when
time?
did he ask? Because
this is, I know, I'm willing to cut a few extra hours to make sure that we do the right thing for the town, but we talked about that as well. As far as the next couple events, like the race.
Yes.
Coombs.
Combs
Thank you.
raised
Yeah.
in September?
Yep, I've set reminders for myself.
Can I ask you now, Ken Coyle? It's 7 days. Like I don't even think he's on the timeline for
No, it's supposed to be 30 days, isn't
30
it?
days and then 7 days to change anything.
And it was a, this is a very.
And that's actually
this is
a
very
state.
what if scenario.
Okay, because that's actually a state regulation that we
'Cause
just
all those food
adopted.
trucks-
Some of the food trucks
Yeah.
already have permits.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they
So
wouldn't have a
any-
permit for Abington.
Some of them already have permits for Abington. So,
Okay.
I can only think of one that would.
okay, well then one has it.
Okay.
Despite the number, some of them, one of them has that. And if he sends me those, I can check my records to see if that one already has it. And
Those,
we will do the best we can for the town, was my point. And I thought that was the more important thing.
Well, it is, but it's a little frustrating to me because Ken Coyle's done many food events and been involved with the food and the Lions. He knows the regulations. in town, so there shouldn't be any what ifs
Former chair of the
as
board.
far as I'm concerned.
Well,
But you're the health agent,
we will
so
do
we
what
will
we can
see what
to,
happens.
Keep everyone healthy.
yep. And what's best for the town? Sometimes that's saying no. Sometimes that's saying yes.
Yep.
Chris, as far as the Coons race, no, I have no update, and I'm not going to send one until the 60-day notice time. And so it's like July 2nd, I think, is my alarm. I set it a reminder email. If you guys wanted, I print it out. for you.
Technology.
All
Very
right.
good.
And
So-
for the agenda, excuse me, if you have something for the agenda, please email it to Mary. The Wednesday, or actually, I moved the deadline to Thursday at noon, before the Monday meeting. So it's all well and good that we're putting on the microphone, the recorder. Please send a reminder email to Mary of what you want on the agenda 2 weeks before our next meeting, Thursday before noon,
Yes,
please.
that will be done.
Because that way I can make sure that it goes on the front page of the Abington website and I can do my electronic cool stuff.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
And Mary usually will remind us anyway. Oh, any changes in the office this week, Marty, that you can tell us about?
This week? No.
Yes.
Today? No.
Last
No,
week.
this past week. Yes, last Friday was
Yes, there was a huge change. We
huge
had-
change,
I moved
made the board
desk,
can,
slightly to the right.
I don't mean those changes.
Oh.
Change in
Mary's on
staff, maybe?
vacation. Oh, yes, so our WREC officer is no longer with us. Lorraine had opportunities elsewhere. So, sadly, I tried to talk her out of it, but she didn't want to. I will miss her.
We want to thank her for the amount of work that she's done since she started coming on, even before she started working at the health agents in the health office. She was a volunteer at the compost site, and what the compost site was when she started there, and what it is today, is all her work. She did an amazing job. So
Luckily, she's not running away. She'll still be.
no, we're still
working.
gonna find her. We still
Yeah,
find
she
her.
will
She'll
still be
styrofoam
working there.
work for us. So if you see her, please,
Say thank
give
you.
her the accolades and the thank yous that she deserves.
Thank you, Marty.
That's all I have.
Something that was going on today.
What's that?
Or tomorrow. Old Colony Planning Council tomorrow, their 51st annual meeting is at Barrett's Ale House on Route 106. So, does anybody have anything else?
I'll motion to adjourn.
Second.
Excellent. Time being 7:25. Oh, all those in favor?
Aye.
So everybody agreed?
0-0.
That's 7:25. The meeting is now adjourned.
Sorry about that first half of the meeting, Mary. It is
Oh,
on
I'm gonna get a
videotape,
ear
so
beating for
please
that.
watch it.
You got complacent 'cause it was on
I'm
camera.
glad I looked